Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. I cannot believe it is the time of year for me to be talking about my 2021 favorites. I think we all know that this year, as every year goes by so fast, it's just so depressing to see how fast the years go, how fast your kids grow. It's just a lot. But 2021 was a good year for makeup, and I wanted to talk about my 2021 favorites, but I thought I would actually put them on as I talk about them. So I went through every category and chose what my favorite product was from 2021. Now, the majority of these, I believe, actually launched in 2021. There's a couple of them that are just new to me this year. So I kind of included that. Maybe it's cheating, but really, they became favorites of mine this year. I really tried to narrow it down. I think foundations is the only one that I have a couple of honorable mentions. The rest of them, I could have honorable mentions, but this video could also be an hour long. So in order to make it somewhat normal, I just picked one from every category. So let's get started in getting ready using all of my favorites from this year. Okay, hair is pulled back and we are ready to go. Let's start on the complexion. And I'm going to be talking about one of my very favorite color correctors / concealers that launched in January of this year. And it is the Jane Iredale Enlighten Plus Under Eye Concealer. This is SPF 30. There are 5 shades. I am in the shade number 1. Now, I talked about in my Instagram Get Ready With Me one week, a few weeks ago. If you go back on my Instagram under my highlights, it's listed as Jane Iredale, where I know a lot of people have messaged me saying they love this. And then a lot of people have messaged me saying that it's just too thick. They can't get it to work. There is a slight learning curve to this product. I use the tiniest amount. You can see that's all I put on my finger. And I really warm it up in between my fingers. I feel like that's just the key. You've really got to warm this up. It's a very thick product. A little bit goes a long way. It does come in a pump applicator, but you are not going to want to use one pump. That's going to be enough for, goodness gracious, a week. Like just a tiny, tiny little bit. Really warm it up and then just pat it in the under eye. So the warmth of your skin that's already on your under eye mixed with the warmth of your skin from your fingers is really going to melt that product in. I am not patting hard. I know it can sometimes look like that over the camera, but I'm not. I'm just pressing that into the skin. And doing it like that works every single time. Now, this is technically a concealer. I could use this and only this. I am going to be going over it with another concealer because I like to use it as my corrector step. I love the fact that it has SPF 30 in it. It is a mineral SPF, so it's not going to burn your eyes. I just absolutely love this. This is my second one this year. And when I talk about the very tiniest amount of product you need, that shows how much I used it, that I actually had to purchase another one within the same year. Such a favorite. Now, foundations. Y'all know how I am about foundations. And honestly, I could probably have way more. I know I could have probably like 7 or 8 honorable mentions in this category. The 2 honorable mentions that I'm going to talk about, the Chantecaille Cushion Foundation. This came out in January of this year. I have done a lot of videos on this, which is why I didn't choose to use it today, but it is fabulous. I will put a card up where you can see me using it. It's glorious, absolutely glorious. So this was definitely one of the very first ones that came to mind when I was thinking about my favorites. One of the newer favorites in my collection, and again, this is one of the ones that I don't think launched in 21. I don't think, I'm not sure, but I definitely didn't get it until October of this year. And this is the Beauty Pie Everyday Great Skin Foundation. Y'all, I love this stuff. Like, love it. So definitely those 2 are honorable mentions. The one I'm going to use today, I think I have used on camera before, but it's been a hot minute. And I got this in April, and I'm pretty sure it launched this year. If not, it launched at the very end of last year, so I'm including it. This is the Lancome Teint Idole Ultra Wear Stick Foundation. Now, if you've watched my channel for any amount of time, you know I'm a huge lover of the original Lancome Teint Idole Foundation. It's magnificent, so I didn't even hesitate to purchase this. I am in the color 330 Bisque in. Oh my goodness. It glides on like butter. Truly like butter. So just kind of put little squigglies on the face. and then just stipple it in. I'm not gonna really talk about brushes today because I have gotten so many requests to do a separate brush video, an updated one. So I'm gonna do that maybe even this month. So I'm not really gonna put much emphasis on brushes. But this foundation is so pretty. It just melts into the skin, very easy to apply, great for travel. I feel like it's one that if you maybe aren't someone who's well versed in stick foundations or someone who is in the past has said, oh yeah, they just don't work out for me, this is one that I would give a try because it really just, I feel like is something that's going to work on almost all skin types. It's not too dry, which a lot of stick foundations can be for dry skin, but it's Lancome Teint Idole Ultra Wear. It's going to work for oily skin. I feel like that's a pretty much a blanket statement. It's safe to say. Obviously, there's going to be some oily skins out there who can't wear it, and there's going to be some dry skins that can't wear it. But as a blanket statement, I feel like this is going to be something that is very wearable for most skin types. And I think you can see a lot of times when people think of Lancome Teint Idole, they think matte. This is not matte. Y'all, this is not matte at all. It's just so pretty. So for concealer, I really honestly didn't even plan this. I have so many concealer loves. Majority of them I fell in love with last year. Now an honorable mention in this, and that I will link down below, is the Beauty Pie concealer as well, which again, I don't know that it's new. I know their shade selection expansion is new this year, but I also really, really love that one. But one that I did purchase this year and I do think came out this year, hopefully, is again, the Lancome Teint Idole Ultra Wear All Over Concealer. So I'm in the shade, just says, oh no, it's on the back, 260 Bisque Neutral. This is actually the shade that I'm in the liquid Teint Idole. I'm not quite sure why I chose 330 in the stick. I mean, it works, but I don't know. Sometimes there's no rhyme or reason for what I choose and do. So I just really like this. I don't use a ton. The one thing I don't like, if I'm going to be super critical, is the doe foot can be kind of hard to get out of the package. I feel like it kind of sticks, like you really have to pull on it. And I'm always afraid the concealer is going to go all over the place. But really, if that's my biggest complaint, then I think we're doing good. As far as the actual concealer goes, it wears really well under my eyes. It's not the fullest concealer I have, but that's okay. I have that corrector, you know, underneath my eyes. So I already have a good coverage going on. And sometimes my dark circles just aren't going to be covered up no matter what. Like I could put 15 layers of the fullest coverage foundation and concealer on underneath my eyes. And, you know, those suckers are still going to pop through. It's just life with dark circles. I've learned to live with it and I've learned to accept it and I'm fine with it. So sometimes I don't really care if it's full coverage or not. But it blends in so easily, as you could see. And it wears really well. No creasing, no caking, no crunchy like fish gills, which I call them, which are those like vertical lines that I can sometimes get in the inside of my eyes. I don't get any of that. So A+ in my book. All right, let's let all of that sink in and let's go to the eyes. This is actually a look, well, all but one shadow. This is a look that I did on a client last week. She had a black tie event that she was doing, like a corporate one for her job, and she was getting her makeup done, and she had this beautiful hot pink cocktail dress. So I really did very fresh skin. I used face and body on her, just very, very fresh skin, but I did pink eyes. And I used, the majority of what I used were these two products, which both came out in 2021. This, I don't think you can still get. I want to show it because I love it and I know a lot of y'all have it, but they do have, it's the Tarte Tartelette Juicy palette. This is the original bigger one. They do have a little one that is still available that is very similar. I'm not sure if it uses the exact same colors. It's not as many, it's only 12 shades, but it's very similar to this. So, you know, something to look into, but again, I would be lying if I would say this is not the palette that I was most excited about that launched in 2021. I bought, did I buy 2 or 3? I think I only bought 2 because I knew it was limited edition. When I bought it for myself, I loved it so much that I bought one for my kid. So what I'm going to do is, again, exactly what I did on her. I'm going to take this Fresh Start shade, which is kind of this very neutral brown shade. I didn't want to overload the pink, so I wanted to start with something you know, pretty neutral. And I just apply that in the crease. This is a Wayne Goss number 16 brush, and a little bit on this outer corner. I've had a lot of Tarte palettes in my makeup history, and you know, a lot of them have been really good. Some of them have been just okay. I don't really remember any of them that have been horrible, but this one, y'all, is just fabulous. The formula is great. Everything's very easy to blend. I love the color selection. When you first look at it, you think it's majority like pink palette, but really it's kind of like half pinks and cool tones, half neutrals. It's just really, really good. So the next thing I did was I went in and used some cream shadows. My very favorite cream shadows are the Charlotte Tilbury Eyes to Mesmerize. If we're talking about non-shadow stick cream shadows, I love these. This one is a shade that launched in 2021 called Pillow Talk, a very pretty pink, neutral pink shade. Now, when you first look at this in the pan, it looks almost matte. It is definitely not as shimmery as some of her other shades. So I like to use this quite a lot actually. But what I did on my client, what I'm going to do today is just take a synthetic brush, and I'm just going to basically lay this down all over the lid and connect it up to the crease. And even though it does have like a slight sheen to it, but it really is more matte than the other options in her line, which I like. I like to have the different textures and finishes within the cream shadows. So I'm just kind of putting this everywhere that I didn't put that neutral brown shade. I'm going to go back in with a little bit more of a tapered blending brush. This is the BK Beauty 202, and I'm going to go into Petal, which is this pinky color. Whoop, I'm backwards. Right here, y'all, in this viewfinder. It's so trippy. And I'm going to take that just right here, a little bit on the outer corner and a little bit out on the outer corner of the crease. Now, the next step and the final step that I did for her eyes was top the Pillow Talk shade with the Rose Gold Eyes to Mesmerize, which did not come out in 2021. So I pulled out another palette, which is definitely an honorable mention. I don't even know if this is back in stock yet, but if it's not, please get on the waiting list. It is, I would say, my favorite out of all of his palettes. This is the Wayne Goss Luxury Eye Palette in Pearl. Such a stunning, soft, cool-toned palette. It's so gorgeous. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this number 2 shade right here in the middle with my pinky finger, and I'm going to put that on top of the Pillow Talk shade first. I'm just going to tap that on. This is not the star of the show, so I don't care if it's like perfect. It could be the star of the show. You could definitely stop at this point. But I'm actually going to go into the number 6 shade, which is this topper shade. The rose gold, really pretty, shimmery, beautiful topper shade. And I'm going to use my finger. Yeah. Oh, so pretty. Y'all, this palette. Both of these palettes. And then I actually went in with a pencil liner on her and then smudged it out with this shade, but I'm just gonna go into Euphoric, which is this really dark brown shade, but it has a very slight cool undertone to it. Now I know I said I wasn't gonna talk about brushes, but this brush launched in 2021 and it's one of my very favorite brushes in my collection. It's the Rephr number 29. I know I have talked a lot about it, but it is the best, hands down, eyeliner brush I have ever used. And if you don't know, if you haven't ever looked at my description box for my discount codes, I do have a link that if you use that link, you can get 20% off of your Rephr order. And I'm telling you, it's a must-have. It has made me love eyeliner again because I use this for shadow. I mean, almost every day now. So let's finish off the face. For powder, this might have not launched in 2021. Again, I'm not sure. But the Beauty Pie Super Translucent Loose Setting Powder has become one of my all-time favorites. This is new. I've only had it for a couple of months now, but oh my goodness, y'all, I use it all the time. So I'm going to use that with the Beauty Pie I think it's just their double-ended like contour and highlight brush, which I love to use with this powder. And I'm going to press it in. And y'all will be able to see on camera how much that smoothed out and basically took away any pore that was showing. It is a magical powder, in my opinion. It's not tightening, it's not drying, but it helps set that makeup for the entire day. So this is the side with the powder. This is the side without. I just really like this brush for pretty much all the powders that I've been using lately to just kind of stamp it in. Now for bronzer, again, a much newer favorite in my collection. A lot of my favorite bronzers I got in 2020. When I was really looking for something that I purchased in 2021 that I loved, this was it. And this is the Airpress Rice Powder Bronzer in Tulum. Again, like I got this last month. I'm not even gonna call it cheating because it really has become a very fast favorite. It's a duo bronzer. I use both shades, mix them together on this little, it's probably like a blush brush, and just kind of stamp it in. Just like I kind of did with the powder. It's not, I mean, it's a matte bronzer. It doesn't have any shimmer to it. But there's something away about the color for me and my skin tone, the way it blends in. It's not too warm. It's not too cool. I can wear it with any eye look, any lip color. I don't feel like it's going to be too contrasting, and it just works. It wears well throughout the day. It's pretty on the skin. It's everything I look for in a bronzer. My blush favorite of the year, again, I had a lot, but this one I absolutely love for blush and eyeshadow. It's the Alima Pure Satin Matte Blush. This is in the shade Antique Rose, and it's so pretty. This is more of a matte shade, but I do feel like they have more satin. I mean, this is called satin, well, satin matte. Wow. Good thinking there, Mandy. But look at, it's just so pretty. I also have pink. I have another one. Can't remember what it's called, but I know that everybody's like, what about Jane Iredale? As I'm doing this, I'm thinking, I fell in love with Jane Iredale way before this year. And other than this and the blush and highlighter sticks, which I also love, nothing else launched this year to my knowledge. The new lip glosses, those are great. But like all the blushes and the base products that I talk about all the time, I mean, those have been staples for years for me. Not new. I mean, this compact's new. Does that count? Hourglass Radiant Light. I'm going to use this to buff before I put on my highlight because I'm going to be using a cream highlight. And that is the Merit Beauty Stick Highlight in Kava. Talked about this a lot. Merit launched in March of 2021, and this is probably my favorite product that I have tried from the line. It is a very balmy highlight, like, and it almost is see-through. See, like it doesn't provide that much of a color, which I love because it's going to be able to work on multiple skin tones. I just like to take my index finger, warm it up on the product, and then just tap it onto the skin. I mean, look at that, y'all. Another reason I love this is because it works really well over any powder that I've used. I've used it over powder foundations, and it's worked. That's another thing, y'all, powder foundations. Holy cow. I did my powder foundation video in January of this year. So really a lot of my powder foundations are 2020 favorites, but that's been a big addition to my makeup routine this year is powder foundations. But look at that. It's just so pretty. I don't find this to be so balmy that it's tacky or that it comes off the skin easy. I just don't. I find it to be a really, really, really great product. To finish out the eyes, I am going to mix that brown shade and the petal shade that I used above my eyes on the eyelids, and I'm just going to use that to smoke out the lower lash line. Then I'm going to use Water Lily, which is this right up here, which is one of my favorite inner corner and brow bone highlights. I put my mascara on off camera, and I did a video not too long ago, a couple months ago, about testing 5 of the new clean mascaras because I feel like 2021 was the year of mascaras. Lots of them launched. I tested not all of them, but a lot of them. And my favorite, I feel like out of all of them is the Jane Iredale Beyond Lash Volumizing Mascara. Pure Lash Lash Extender and Conditioner on underneath, which is definitely not a new favorite. I've used this for years. But I love this. Now, I've had a lot of y'all message me and tell me you love it. Some of you have said that it didn't work out for you. That is mascara. I feel like out of most of the categories of makeup, foundation and mascara are two of the most subjective, right? Like, I could absolutely adore a product and you aren't going to, but I would be lying if I said I did not adore that mascara, especially when compared to their other mascaras. I never thought they were bad, but they definitely weren't ones that I reached for all the time. This one I reach for all the time. I'm almost done with it. Like, I need to get another backup. Honorable mention was not gotten in 2021, but is the Chantecaille Faux Cils Longest Lash. Those two right now are my favorite mascaras pretty much of all time. So let's finish up with lips and then I'll talk about a fragrance. I know this is long. I feel like I've been chatting for a very long time. This lip combo is new to me and they did launch in 2021 and they are from Lisa Eldridge. I love this specific combination. This is the Velvet Lipstick in Intrigue. Such a beautiful warm nude color. This is a warm nude color, but I feel like when I use the gloss in Songbird, it ends up being more neutral pink. Love this gloss. This is just my kind of lip. Y'all know. I love a good nude lip. I love a good pinky nude lip, which again, even though this is more of a warm nude, I feel like it really evens out to a more neutral pink. Now, fragrance. This was the year of fragrance for me, y'all. I fell in love with fragrance even more than I already had in the year of 2021. I definitely grew my collection a lot. And I am hard pressed to pick a favorite, but I did make sure that this one was launched in 2021. And this is from one of my favorite houses, BDK Parfums, and it's Velvet Tonka. This was a blind buy for me, but after seeing the notes and knowing it came from BDK, I really did not have any issues with blind buying it because I was pretty positive that I was going to fall in love with it, and I fell in love with it. This is an almond orange blossom on the top note perfume. The middle, it has tobacco and rose oil. I'm going to tell you, I do not smell rose in this at all. I cannot smell rose in it at all. The base notes are tonka, bourbon, vanilla, amberwood, and amorous. What I get is almond, vanilla, and a slight bit, well, I get the tonka bean, and a slight bit of the tobacco. This is a very heavily almond scented fragrance to me. It would fall in the gourmand category. It's not cloyingly sweet. I personally find that this is a year-round perfume. I don't see that I would have any issue wearing this in the summer or this time of year. I bought it in June. It launched in June, and I wore it in June, and I was totally fine with it. It's beautiful. BDK is beautiful. Some of the BDK perfumes don't last as long on me. This one lasts a good 6 to 8 hours on me, which I find is a very nice wear, and it's absolutely glorious. If you are an almond lover, if you're a gourmand lover, if you like those powdery, little bit sweeter scents, and you haven't tried out BDK, I highly recommend starting with this one. It's just such a beautiful fragrance. So that is my 2021 favorite. I am trying to get Chad to get on camera with me so I can go over all of my favorite gourmand fragrances with y'all. I know you love it when he is a part of the smell test for those videos, so we are going to try to do that very soon. Stay tuned for that. Thank y'all so much for watching. Thank you so much for your support in 2021. I know I was hit or miss on YouTube. There was a lot of changes in my life with my job and then a change in my job, and it just... Y'all are awesome for sticking with me. So I appreciate it. I'm looking forward to see what 2022 has in store. I am going to be doing a favorite skincare of 2021 as well, so stay tuned for that. Be sure and like and subscribe so you don't miss out on that video or any future videos. Let me know what your favorite makeup products were in the year of 2021. I hope you're all staying happy, healthy, safe, and sane, and that most of all, you go out and have a very blessed day.